to that.
Yes, thank you. Recording in progress. So now we'll share the... Hi, Michael.
Hi.
So we are waiting a couple of minutes, 1 minute more at least, to see if more people join. I understand that Samita will join shortly, and Ari cannot join, so he sent regards. Hello, Beset.
Hello. Oh, hello. Ines, how are you?
Fine, thank you. And you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Great.
Can you put the URL of the Hedge doc into the Hedge doc or the chat?
Yes. Yes.
Michael, the audio quality you can send is limited. Just for your information.
Is that better?
Well, 3/4 of the syllables come here, so we can understand you.
Okay, I think we can...
Well, wonder why.
Okay, I think we proceed starting the meeting. So welcome to the IoT Directorate pre-IETF 118 meeting. Please note that this meeting is aligned with the Notewell of the IETF. So our draft agenda will be an overview of the IETF, IRTF, IoT working groups. Then if we are aware of the new plan IETF on IRTF IoT activities and other IoT SDOs updates, if available. Some comments on the agenda? Okay. So please add your name here. Okay, about the IETF, IRTF working groups. So 60 is closed. I think Pascal is not here. So, Carles, 6LOW?
Yes. 6LOW will meet in the next IETF. Since the last IETF, we have one URFC, which is 9453 on the 6LOW applicability and use cases. And we currently have 4 working group documents. One of them is in AD evaluation. That's the IPv6 Neighbor Discovery Multicast Address Listener Registration Draft. And we have 3 other working group documents. First is Path-Aware Semantic Addressing for LLMs. By the way, these 3 are in earlier stages. This one, Path-Aware Semantic Addressing, includes stateless forwarding and header compression for some rather stable topologies. Then the second...
Şurada şeye gidiyoruz ya. ATM. Para almam lazım da. Son gün. Tam da ben de bizim IETF toplantısı vardı. Ona girmiştim. 12'ye koymuşlar.
Someone else.
Normal 9'da oluyor. Şimdi
I think it's Beset. Okay, so the other working group document, which is in earlier stages, is the transmission of SHIC compressed packets over 15.4 networks. Recall that SHIC is the main product of the LP1 working group, which now has transformed into the SHIC working group. And the last one is the IPv6 Neighbor Discovery Prefix Registration, which allows 6LN to register prefixes as opposed to addresses. And then there are 2 individual documents that will be presented in Prague as well. First is the generic address assignment option for 6LPAN Neighbor Discovery, which is needed mostly for path-aware semantic addressing, but not limited to that, which allows a node to request an address from a neighbor, for example, for addresses assigned algorithmically. And also the other draft is the transmission of IPv6 packets over short-range optical wireless communications, where the latter refers actually to IEEE 802.15.7, which is a standard for visible light communication.
That is very nice. Okay, thank you very much, Carles. Comments or questions? Okay, thank you. Ace, Long and Aden are team. Okay, Ace changed chair, so yeah. Okay, nobody wants to give an update. Okay, Anima, Sheng, Charles.
I wrote the comments there.
Okay, thank you very much,
I don't
Michael.
know if that's. I don't know if that's. And my audio is any better. No.
Okay.
All right.
It kind of works. Just keep talking.
Wasn't much more to say other than I wrote. We are like a lot of review comments coming back from the reviews and too few editors for the number of documents, I guess.
Okay, thank you very much, Michael. Comment or questions? Okay, thank you. SDF, Michael, Niklas.
Not seeing Nicholas. We are having an actual in-person meeting next week. That might be our first. Is it, Carson? Maybe.
I think we had one.
You think we had one? I think maybe you're right. Anyway, the meeting will be about rechartering. The core document is been through working group last fall, and I guess is probably waiting for AD review at this point.
Okay, thank you very much, Michael. Comments or questions? Okay, Sibor, Barry, Christian.
Well, maybe I can summarize what's going on there. The CBOR time tag document was just submitted today. And it was submitted today because in the ISG meeting last week, it pretty much got done. And I hope we will see RC editor queue for this document soon. We have a working group last call going on for 2 updates to the EDN, Extended Diagnostic Notation language, and the CDDL language. So for EDN, we finally have an ABNF, so people can easier write tools for that. And for CDDL, there are a few things that we just noticed after 7 years of using it that could be fixed. So these working group call will end on IETF Monday. The CDDL2 work on modules is stable. We're still waiting a bit from implementer feedback. I hope I get some feedback at the hackathon, and we could start a working group call soon. CBOR Pact is under active discussion. Martin Lender's DNS CBOR is a use case that really provides some additional points for discussion. And finally, the common deterministic encoding document probably is needed as a step towards getting deterministic encoding a bit better realized in the various implementations. So that may be something we are picking up again, but that has not been prepared before the meeting.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Karsten. Comment or questions? Okay. Cor, Jaime, Marco, Karsten.
Hi everyone, this is Marco. Just the main highlights. We have a document now in the RFC editor's queue that was approved for publication recently, target attribute document. It's mainly defining an IANA registry for registering and tracking target attributes for web links in constrained environments. We also have the course 8 document now back to the ISG after that it was processed again in the working group. And one document in IETF last call, we requested publication recently, defining how to use the ad-hoc key establishment protocol with co-op and all-score. In addition to that, among other working group documents, 2 are under shepherded up, though YAM library has had this status for a while and it's more waiting for other CoreConf document to be completed first, and 4 documents has completed working group last call and requires some action before being shipped. Further, in addition to that, we put quite a lot of cycles on the CoreConf documents in general, and in addition to CoreSID that I mentioned before, also CoreComI that also completed the working group last call, and comments have to be addressed. We processed an AD review for Coros Coredoc that I mentioned before, for which we requested publication. And there was substantial progress also on PubSub for co-op, group communication for co-op, the constraint RESTful identifiers, and a protocol for a lightweight key update for OSCORE. We've also adopted a new working group document, OSCORE capable proxies for using OSCORE not only end-to-end between the two application endpoints as originally intended, but also at proxies. We meet regularly with interim and design team meetings, and we'll have a 2-hour session in Prague. And we already have a plan for forthcoming interim meetings alternating with CBOR as usual. And that should be all for core.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Carlos. Comments or questions? Okay. Kose, Matt, Ivalo? Okay. DetNet, Low, Janus? Okay. Thank you for the update, even if you are not present. And just a reminder that Raw working group has been merged into DetNet. So IoT Ops, Alexei, Henk. Okay. Lake, Melissa, Stephen. Okay. Elwick, Mohit, Sen.
Maybe it's too late in Europe.
Yeah.
It's not too late. It's 6:30. Oh, not even.
Oh, okay. All right. So then it's good.
So on Lake, maybe one interesting thing that came up was that Lake makes a registration for using CWT and the unencrypted form of the CCS in the headers for setting up Lake communication and in the COSI headers, excuse me. And there are other documents that want to do something similar. We don't really know how similar. And there's currently, although the Lake document, the main Lake document is in the RFC editor queue, there's currently some discussion about whether Lake should create a room for these other users to use the same registration. I'm not a big fan of that. You can follow the discussion on the mailing list. I just wanted to say that there is some interesting cross-working group communication going on right now.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Karsten. Then Elwick seems as going to close in Prague. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't
thank
been
you
able
for
to
the
get.
update.
I haven't been able. This is Eric Klein. I haven't been able to get any response from Renee. He's very, very close to getting the document published. There's just a few comments left to address. One of the security discusses, I think, just about the IONA registration stuff, or a reference to NIST, if I recall. But several attempts to reach Renee have not resulted in him being reachable. So I don't really know if he's okay or not, or what's happening there. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and close Elwig in Prague. And if there are updates to that draft, then we'll just handle them separately.
Okay.
So if somebody
Thank you
knows
very much.
Renee and wants to reach out and check on him, see if he's okay. He hasn't responded to anything from me, so.
Okay, thank you very much, Eric, for the update and for the comments. Rats, Kathleen, Nancy, Ned. Okay, Michael, add some sentence. Surprise, I have statement. Michael, do you want to discuss about this?
The IB wrote a statement 2 weeks ago about remote attestation and did it seemingly without talking to anybody from the RATS community, which was a bit of a surprise. There is a meeting. We're invited to chat with them on, let me just double check here. I think it's Tuesday morning, but I don't think I wrote it down properly. I believe it's Tuesday morning. We're invited to talk to the IAB about this topic if you have an opinion about that statement.
So who will be present from the RATS community?
I don't know. I believe I will, but now I realize I may also have a conflicting side meeting.
Yeah. So the the statement from the IAB is fine, except that in RATS we are working hard on this dystopia not becoming a reality. So it's a bit of yeah, how do I say this?
I actually don't think the statement is fine. I actually agree with it, but I think it's actually so poorly worded that only if you actually understand a great deal about both the W3C situation and the state of remote attestation and what it requires is any of it actually comprehensible. So I actually think it says don't do something, but no one actually knows what it is that they don't want us to do because they didn't actually explain what the risk is. People understand remote attestation can understand the risk, but I don't think anyone else does. And I think that's where that magical thinking about computers can decide things on their own without policies comes into the same thing that 20 years ago got us the music industry thinking that MP3s decide whether they can be played or not on their own. It's that magical thinking that's missing, right? And you need to explain it. So,
yeah, actually, what the statement says can be translated into another security issue. So, in some parts of the world, we have these certificates, and if you are not careful with certificates, and certificates are monopolized by some commercial entities, then using certificates has exactly the same effects that the IB sees in attestation. So you really need to be careful when doing certificates. Anyway.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Michael and Karsten, for the comments and discussions. So we continue with RAW. It was concluded, so all the work is handled out in .NET. For RAW, we are going to have a meeting, 1 hour meeting on next week. We have 2 drafts submitted to the ISG, our DB Ripple and our projections. So hope we have new soon on that. We have other items in progress, enrollment priority, MOPEX, mode of operations, RNFD, that we need reviews on that, and then NCS extension. And to advance in the work, we have planned interim meetings every 2 months. So hopefully we advance with the work in the interim meetings. So comment or questions? Okay, thank you. Chic, Alexander, Pascal?
So in the absence, it is Rick Vink here. A lot of discussion about, as I wrote into the notepad, a lot of discussion about the architecture and basically how to transport SHIC over Ethernet and IP. Whether in the case of IP, does it require an extension header or more like a transport header? So still a lot of work to do, but interesting.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Eric. And comments or questions? Okay. Skit, I don't know how to pronounce this, but This is a new working group. Well, from there is the chairs Hannes and John. Someone wants to say something about this? Okay. Sweet, Dave, David, Russ. Okay. Tip, Tiru, Nancy. Okay. IRTF, Coin. Someone is up to date with Coin. Work, Jeffrey, Eve, Marie Jose. Okay. Citizen Research Group, Karsten.
Yeah, first of all, apologies from Ari, who can't make it on the Finnish schedule. I think the most important thing to say here is that we will have a work meeting Friday this week at Prague Hilton in room Florence 1-2. There's a GitHub link to the emerging repository, which includes an agenda and other information. And we really want to do two different things here. We want to talk about some security issues. We have 3 active documents about security issues. We have a submission about a way for an IoT device to keep at least some concept of what rough time it is. You know that there is the Google rough time activity, but this is here even much rougher for devices that can't really afford to continuously listen. So that is going to be interesting. And we are going to discuss secure discovery. And we will, the second thing is we will have a look at a few of our foundations. There is a general theme of naming and identity here. So how do we layer self-descriptions? How can a device declare its existence without giving away too much, and then provide more self-description when somebody has been authorized to get this information? And we will talk about non-IP nodes, which essentially we have been talking about since 2016 in various contexts, but it now has become more and more clear how to do this, and SDF certainly plays a role here, so we can talk about them better. But there is also an activity that Elliot Lear is part of that is looking at protocols for accessing non-IP nodes, for authorizing and accessing them, and I think we will have an interesting discussion there as well. So this is from 10 to 18. And it looks like we will have coffee, but we won't have lunch. So we will have a lunch break in the middle to get something to eat. So if you are in Prague on Friday, you're welcome to join.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Karsten. Comments or questions? Okay. New plan IoT activities. Are you aware of some? Okay.
Well, there's another above, the name of which escapes me, about yet another spice. So yet another credential thing that we probably have to deal with at the IoT space, even if some of the people there think they are not doing IoT, of course they are, they just don't know that. So look at the spice activity, please.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Karsten. Any other comments? Okay, any other business or any other comments, suggestions? Okay, so I will stop the recording now. And thank you very much for your attention. And you will be shortly aware of the link for the recording. So if you want to check, have a nice flight to Prague and enjoy the IETF.
And thank you.
I'm taking a train.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.